Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Dreads of Breads, and we're about to do a dreaded hobby content over here. It's been a while. Last time we did one of these was about 4 months ago, and there was one 2 months ago that I missed that I didn't realize that came out. But here we are. This is the Warhammer preview show, AdeptiCon for AdeptiCon 2025. The last couple of these have been disappointing, to say the least. Very just kind of lackluster, and that kind of sucks. I haven't really been hyped up or super psyched to buy anything new from GW for a long time. Partly because I just have a mountain of shame, a backlog that I got to do. But the other part is I feel like GW's losing the rule of cool. And the rule of cool is what attracts people to Warhammer, is just how cool and neat your models can look. And lately, some of the stuff I've been seeing from GW has been pretty bland, pretty sterile. And we'll see if there's anything cool in this or not. Yeah, let's get into it. One thing I do want to say before we start in and hop in, I do tend to mute the music on certain segments of these streams because either somebody who has a fake Spotify account or they create a fake Spotify account will content ID claim the music in these streams, and then they'll try to hit me with a content ID claim over on YouTube, or GW will try to do a content ID claim on the music. So that's why I mute the music. I also break these up also, so each segment will be its own little VOD on YouTube, just to make it easier for people to find this stuff. I will say, in the past, I had somebody, I think it was 6 months or 4 months or 5 months, I don't know, it was a long time after the Tree People Army came out, and I poked fun of it because it didn't look good. It was very generic looking, and I'm not going to sugarcoat things. If something's funny or stupid looking, I'm going to make fun of it. I'm not going to do what a lot of content creators do over on the YouTube, which is very, very sad, because some of these people I used to actually watch and was subscribed to their channel for a very long time, until I noticed that it didn't matter what model came out. The model could look like somebody just glued a bunch of bits and bobs onto just like a standard Joe, and there would be so much detail creep you couldn't tell what was going on. And they'd be like, "Oh, it's the best model ever. Here's my affiliate code. Go buy it." Or it could just be the most painfully stiff, uninspiring model, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is the best model ever. You guys should go buy it. Here's my affiliate link." And that's when I kind of realized they didn't really care or have love for the hobby anymore. They were just your channel's fate has been linked to the success of the selling of models and the success of GW, that it's become very painfully obvious, especially if you try to bring up lore or other just kind of hobby related stuff. They just don't care. They won't answer it, and they just kind of stick to their guns to buy, consume, and that's very, very, it sucks, heartbreaking, because some of these content creators I really liked. For those of you who don't know, I was not supposed to be a VTuber. No, I wasn't supposed to be this jiggly boy here. I actually wanted to do content creation for Warhammer, and that never happened, sadly. And I'm kind of glad it did, because I don't really like the state that GW is in right now with the IPs. There's just been way too much negative stuff going on, too much sterilization and whatnot. But anyway, let's get on to it. Let's see what our boys, I believe he's Nick and he's Alex, have to say, and let's go.
Warhammer live preview show coming to you from Nottingham. My name's Nick. This is Alex.
Hello, Nick.
We've got so much stuff to show people, right?
Yep, I'm incredibly excited. We've got stuff from Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer the Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, and the Old World.
It's going to be great. That's all coming up very soon. This weekend we are celebrating AdeptiCon over there in America.
Oh, my bad. Oh. I forgot I put it on double speed just to get to this part, because I wasn't sure where the stream actually started. It's okay. Nothing of importance was lost.
Milwaukee, if you're there at the event,
they're at
hello.
Milwaukee.
I've already seen some of the stuff we're about to show you already, but keep quiet for now. Great to have you here. But of course, there's folks all around the world. Please let us know in the chat where you are. And in fact, this evening we're helped
I'm
out
from the
because we
moon.
are live. You can ask us questions. We have Ed over in Question Corner. Ed, how are you
Hello,
doing? All right?
Ed.
Good, thanks,
Oh,
Nick.
no.
Yeah,
Good to have you here, man.
If you've
The
got any
flesh is
questions,
trying to eat me.
do
Help
start
me.
with
Help
question
me.
right at the beginning, and it will help me filter out to try and see what everyone wants to ask.
Now, crucially, that is in the Twitch chat only. I know we're on YouTube as well, but if you're in Twitch,
So they've actually done some naughty stuff before. You naughty boys. You naughty boys. Where they've actually ignored questions or blocked people, kind of like shadow banned them from asking questions and stuff. So that's no good, especially when one of the people that you banned is actually the guy who actually who's helped set up the original Warhammer Twitch channel, and they haven't really done anything since he's done that, and he's no longer part of that team. And if you ask him about it, you'll get banned in chat.
please put your questions in there. We'll try and get as many of those answered as we possibly can as the show goes on. Now, we have so much to show you this evening, and in fact, we're going to give you a quick glimpse right now.
You can't age a Sigma. Kill team. Warhammer the old world. Ooh. That's some Death Guard. Some skeleton boys. Got some guys on horses. Preview AdeptiCon 2024.
That was
Or 2025.
very exciting.
There's lots of
But
cool stuff there.
you've seen us, you've seen the sizzle reel. It's now time to jump straight into the old world with the Wood Elf realms.
Here we
Wood
go.
Yeah,
elves.
so the Wood Elves are the defenders of Athel Lauren. It's a highly elite force, lots of
Alrighty, so let's just take a look at this before they start yipping and yapping. Not a bad range, but something, these guys are alright looking. I don't know if you can see my thing here. They're a little bit scrawny for my take. Something I have noticed, which doesn't look too bad with these guys, is the animal sculpts they've been doing lately have just been god awful. I don't know if it's the way that they've been painting or what they've been doing, and it's not just for Old World either. It's just been very, very bad, and you will see that because I've seen previews that people have been posting about the Space Wolves, which should be in this preview, and the wolves, oh my god, they're horrid. But these aren't too bad because it looks like they're on reindeer or elk, which is fine. I like that these ones are white. These ones are okay-ish, but they should have did something different with the paint scheme, because the brown on the darker brown, it just kind of comes muddled. These guys are okay looking with the hoods and the weird, I have no idea what these are, sword axe things. You got your spear guys right here. You got some bowmen. You've got some Legolosses right here and right here and right here.
cavalry, lots of archers. You get a fantastic battalion, as well as their arcane journal, which contains all the lore background.
I'm not sure which one
regiments.
that
You've
one
got
is.
Orion in there, loads of fantastic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely elite army on the tabletop. These guys are superb at shooting you off the table. Yeah, Alex is absolutely right. What he says there. We've also got the hero here, the Araloth, Lord of Talson as well, who's coming alongside the Wood Elves.
Alrighty, so here is the dude. Here's the hero. We're just going to screenshot him. I like the antlers. Antlers are kind of nice. I don't know if this is an old sculpt or not. This looks like an old sculpt because of the hand. Hand's not that great. Phone, shut up. My phone's going to be doing that a lot. I apologize. I can't turn off the notifications. I have a lot of notifications turned off on my phone, but for whatever reason, it just will buzz. I don't like it. But anyway, like we said, he's got a weird claw thing going on here. He's not doing the tactical point, which I'll give him points for that. He's got the hawk, his little hawk friend here. These are alright. I like the spearhead. He kind of has a tactical rock, but it's a skull.
This guy was a coward in his youth, right?
Yes, he was a cowardly youth. However,
He's a cowardly youth. This model gives me kind of like weird Loki vibes or just Marvel vibes for some reason. I don't know if it's the paint scheme or just how it is, but I don't know. We're gonna continue on.
fallen from his horse and found an elf goddess, as you do. He then regained his courage and eventually went on to slay Morga the Corruptor.
A superb Lord level hero for your Wood Elf forces. This guy carries his bird into battle. Scarin the Eye Thief there can be
like that
sent
name.
across the battlefield to peck the eyes out of your enemies, which is great fun. and of course alongside the Arcane Journal, which is coming for the Wood Elves, just like it does for every other army. A 48-page book dedicated to the Wood Elves with background, rules, historical recreations. You can fight in there. New heroes. We got Orion, King of the Woods, returns, leading his wild hunt, one of the armies of infamy there.
So this is... I don't know much about the old world, so I don't know. They'll probably say if this is a new sculpt or not, but this isn't bad. But again, the doggos are alright. The doggos are okay. I do like that he's blowing a horn. It's not a bad looking model for what it is. His spear's a little bit chunky. That pole arm that he's got.
As well as magic items, new units which you can take as well.
I forgot to take a screenshot, chat. I'm sorry.
Conversions from other units that exist. I tell you what, Alex, I'm super excited about the fact that beast packs are returning to the Wood Elf realms. You'll be able to field units of Deepwood Hounds, Forest Cats, Sylvan Boars, and even a Bear of Lauren. So you can have a bear running around the Wood Elf army. That sounds great.
Brilliant.
So there we are.
You mentioned beasts.
Smoking the Bear's going to beat you up.
The only things that are coming to the old world. We've got the Beastmen Brayherds returning. Likewise, they've got a fantastic battalion there, stuffed full of everything you could think of.
So let's just take a quick look at the Beastmen. We've got a Minotaur in the front, or a Cyclops Minotaur. We've seen this model before. We have seen that model before, and I believe we have seen these guys before. I think these are the new sculpts for the Beastmen. And I think, didn't they kill the Beastmen off in... Is it the old world that they killed them off? Or is it Age of Sigmar? No, it was Age of Sigmar that they killed these guys off for some reason, I believe. I haven't really been following Age of Sigmar or Warhammer stuff for a while. I used to follow it because it all fascinated me, and lately it just hasn't. It's kind of dropped the ball, chat.
It's a gore or a Gorgon.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the Beastmen, of course, a wild force in Warhammer: The Old World. Super powerful. Lots of cheap infantry running around all over the table, and some terrifying monsters as well. And there's a brand new miniature coming for them as well. We've seen this one before. This is Kralmor, Prophet of Ruin. Tell me about this guy. Who is
so
it?
The Beastmen love might makes right. However, if you are mystical, magical, you tend to be given a bit of an easy ride. They love that.
I like this model. I like that he's got a little friend up here. He's got a little hand in case you need it. You know, he's ready to lend you a hand. He's got a little another buddy here. I do like the rune stone here. I very, very much like this model. It's a simple model. I don't know. I like it. It kind of reminds me of Tim from, what was that? Is that his name? From Mighty Python, the guy that leads them to the rabbit cave. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that vibe from him. I quite like it. It's very simple, and he's got his little buddy over here with the grin. It's nothing too complicated. It's not got a lot of detail creep. It doesn't look very, very stiff. There's some models that I've seen from GW lately that are very, very stiff, or there's too much going on. And this one is very simple. It's very nice.
Kralmor is a prophet. He can, see the future, which has allowed him to stay one step ahead of his enemies. And we mentioned Orion before. Orion is currently hunting him, however, has been unsuccessful.
Oh no!
He's a powerful level 4 wizard, and that leering spirit that he accompanies into battle can be placed on the battlefield to cast devolving magic at enemies from afar, which is quite good fun. Now, it's worth pointing out both the Wood Elves and the Beastmen are going to have the huge ranges accompanying them. We've just shown you a selection here. So don't expect just this. There's loads more coming as well. And of course, we've got the Arcane Journal for the Beastmen Brayherds. Again, big book full of lore, full of great maps. You like a map, Alex, you really do. We've got historical recreations of Kralmor taking on some Empire of Men troopers.
This guy here, he needs some Neosporin in the band-aid. I don't know if you can see this guy, but see this chat, but he's got an arrow in him, and he's got some nicks on his chest from when he was shaving his chest because he's a hairy boy. Oh, and he's also got some friends here.
Units, new heroes in there, new magic. You can take a herd stone for your force as well. Look, if you're a Beastman fan, you want to get this book. That's great. Now, Alex, people kind of knew that Wood Elves and Beastmen were on the way because they were the last two forces that were going to happen. But there's one force that people might not be expecting, right?
Oh,
Let's take a look.
Alrighty.
Grand Cathay
Oh,
stations
damn it.
in the world.
all right. I'm gonna get hit with copyright ID claim. I don't care. Warhammer the Old World.
Under the watch of my father, Sen Yang, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, Grand Cathay stands as a bulwark of harmony against the
So a new
forces
faction?
of darkness. Now, as the hordes of chaos threaten to breach our sacred
Oh, no!
battlements, this haven of order prepares for war.
To battle.
Upon the walls of the Great Bastion
That's pretty cool.
are mustered countless soldiers, ingenious war machines,
Oh, I got
and
ogres
other
with cannons.
more esoteric defenders who stand ready, determined to hold back the tide.
Okay.
Resolutely, I perform the duty bestowed on me by my divine father centuries ago. Through devout study of the twin powers of yin and
Okay.
yang, I master the elements and summon lightning from the heavens, striking our foes and inspiring all those who fight beneath my banner. I am the master of the storm winds and the supreme matriarch of Nangao. I am Miao Ying. I am the storm dragon.
Okay.
This is Grand Cathay, our eternal empire.
Cool, I guess. Ooh. I guess we'll get to see these guys here in a minute. Oh, that poor guy. They're making the Elder haul all the ammo for this cannon. The cannon's pretty neat. Oh, yeah. Big dude here, big dude there. You can't really see this person here, but they're a bit too happy for their job. Okay, you got a Zeppelin or a hot air balloon of doom. It's got guns and things, and oh, I don't think that's really such a good idea to carry ammo next to a giant, flame that's going to make this thing lift up into the air. One little spark and kaboom, kaboom, you know what I mean? Oh, those guys are pretty cool. Heed the call of the storm.
That is amazing. I
Wow.
have genuine goosebumps
Wow.
after watching it.
What a video. What a range. Let's talk about it. So, Grand Cathay is here, marching into the old world.
Alright, where's this? I gotta screenshot this. Alright, let's take a look at this before they yip and they yap. Alright, so we got two big, very big golems or golem guys. Alright, I like the mask in this one. I like the demon mask on that one. We've got 1, 2, 3 different hot air balloons. There's some, you guys can't see them, but I'm blocking just some beastmen that they're fighting. Got some cavalry dudes here, a hero there, foot soldiers there, some more cavalry looking guys over here. This one's got a really cool headpiece on. We've got some ogre cannons in the back and more cavalry over there.
Alex, who are the Grand Cathay?
So Grand Cathay is one of the oldest civilizations
Grand
in the world
Cathay.
of legend. They've stood as sort of an eternal bulwark against the evils of the world.
So if you're wondering about these symbols here, I don't know about these ones, but these ones here, I did see a little thing about that. This is sadly not freehanded. These are stickers. These are water decals.
It's a land of cities, farms, great mountains, and it's had a sort of internal stability and harmony that the other nations tend to be in a level of turmoil because it's ruled by dragons, namely the celestial dragon emperor himself. And as you can imagine, having an immortal leader lends a bit of stability there.
That's what a great sort of idea and concept for a force, and it's a very different army to anything else you might see in Warhammer the Old World. They are.
I will say this is a neat idea, but with it being Warhammer, especially Old World, Warhammer Old World, Warhammer 40k, there's supposed to be a grim darkness to it, right? I know Warhammer Old World is supposed to be more of the fantasy version, but wouldn't it make more sense to have a faction that's kind of more based off of the bad guy, the Shadow Emperor from Big Trouble Little China. Mr. Burton. What was his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name yet. It's been so long since I've watched the movie, and every time I want to try to watch it, it's either not streaming anywhere, like it's not streaming in your country, or it's locked behind a ridiculously high paywall. Oh God, his name starts with an N. L, not an N. N. L. Oh God, it was such a good movie. Little Big Trouble in Little China is such a good movie. A really great movie. It won't come out no more. What won't come out no more?
An elite army, heavily armed and heavily armoured. Even the basic troops are super elite. There's a mixture of troops, cavalry, war engines, terrifying monsters. And we're going to go through a few of them now because the battalion box set, which we see here, is...
We're going to take just a closer look at these guys here. Give me 1 minute, though, because that's driving me nuts. It's not Lin Pao. It's David Lopan. I was close, but like I said, it's been I'm a model. It's been an awfully long time since I've seen Big Trouble in Little China, which is such a great movie. It's such a wacky, silly movie that it's really a shame that they didn't build an army around Lopan, because Lopan is basically based off of the Shadow Emperor, who's actually a real bad guy in mythology, and that would have been so cool to have for the old world. That would have been very, very neat to have this kind of evil Shadow Emperor with all sorts of different monsters and troops based off of Chinese mythology. But I guess this is okay. This is okay. This is all right. But I mean, I do like the banner. I like this banner right here. But I do feel like it could have been more cooler and could have been more epic. But let's look at this. So we've got that lady right there. That's the lady I was talking about. She's having way too much fun. You have a cannon that shoots giant fireworks at you. You've got another regular cannon. I feel like this one would be more deadly than this one, but it depends on how much black powder's in that. You have these guys here with their shields and their swords. You've got some pole arms here. You've got some dudes drumming on their drum all day because they don't want to play. And then you've got some more artillery in the back. You got a drummer there. Alrighty. Color scheme's alright with the kind of teal and I think they're supposed to be jade, but it looks teal bluish to me. I will say this, the color is off on my monitors, so if it is a different color, if it is jade, I'm sorry. But right now it just looks kind of like a weird tealish kind of peacock blue.
What a great scope of miniatures we've got in front of us. And first and foremost, let's talk about the infantry. Alex, the Jade Warriors, who are they?
So the Jade Warriors are the well-equipped sort of core of a city's army. So they're known as the Jade Warriors because that stone is sort of sacred to the Dragon Emperor, and it's said to represent sort of the implacable nature of the Empire. They have pole arms, heavy armor, shields. They're formidable in the attack. But
see, they missed out. If Jade is important, you could have had the David Lopan of the old world looking for two brides with jade eyes. Come on.
Defense is where this truly lies.
These are, you're absolutely right, and that's reflected in the rules as well. These guys have the rule defensive stance, where if they remain stationary, they can re-roll ones in the combat phase on their saves, which is cool. Really cool thing to point out in this box set as well is that while you can build every single model with lots of different variation, one of the great varieties in the Jade Warriors that is every model you can choose a male or a female head as well. So you can have all your Jade Warriors can be female or male, up to you, which is really, really cool.
All right, so I will say this: having options to build your army any way you want, that is cool. That is fine. Having more options is fine. But does it really bring anything different to the tabletop? I'm going to point this out. Some people aren't going to like it, but if you're going to start bringing in gender politics and stuff into the game, if you're going to start bringing in real world politics into escapism, that's where I have issues with. Because if it doesn't add anything to the game, if it doesn't bring any kind of different mechanics to the game, then I'm not interested, really. You know, if you want to have an all-female army, good for you. If you want to have a male army, all good for you. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't really do anything except for different aesthetic wise, you shouldn't really make that a big point. Just be like, hey, there's loads of customizable stuff in here. You can make them however you want. But what he's saying right now is going to bring up some people in the community, which basically don't care about the hobby. They're just on Twitter all day, and they like to pick fights. Well, most of them aren't on Twitter anymore. Most of them went over to Blue Sky, which is that butterfly Twitter thing, McBobber. But they'll just pick fights, and they'll just throw insults over stupid stuff. I don't know. I don't know why that made me go on a tangent, but it did. But like again, no one really cares if about politics and escapism. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now.
But they're not just the only thing. They've got maybe the anvil of the army is the Jade Warriors, but let's talk about the Jade Lancers, the cavalry. These guys are special.
So yeah, if the Jade Warriors are the shield.
So I like that guy's helmet in the back, but we can't get a clear look of it. And then she's got I think that's a she. I think that's a woman. I can't tell from here. She's got the red plume instead of the jade.
These guys are a spear. They're the knights of the celestial host. They've been forged in battle and drawn from the most disciplined and skilled soldiers of the great cities. The wealthier cities can raise, multiple regiments of these guys, but
you kind of get his helmet there. I'm not a big fan of these weird dog neck collar things. The horses look okay from this angle, but I would actually have to see them from other angles, because like I said, GW's been having issues with animals for some reason, and they just, either the way that they've been painted or they're sculpted, that they look bad.
Most can manage at least one. On the battlefield, basically, they are able to charge and annihilate the enemy. They specialize in sort of getting through the narrow passages and alleyways of the cities to counterattack.
They're absolutely devastating cavalry, Alex. On the charge, these guys can fight in an extra rank with their Cathayan lances.
What happened, chat? Oh. That's what happened. I went from full screen to not full screen. So these horses don't look too bad from this angle, or from the angles that we've seen. I do like the water decals there. It's very nice. But again, I like the artwork here, but the way that it's painted, this doesn't come off looking like armor. This looks like a leather giant dog collar muzzle thing, and I don't really care for it. If it was painted more, and it could just be because of how the color setup that is on my monitor, the color's all messed up. I can't really fix it. But if this is actually like a bronze or a gold, then yes, that look better. But on my screen, it just looks like this is just leather brown with white little studs, and then this is kind of like, I don't know, a dirty black leather.
So that makes them super hitty, and also the Cathayan Cataphracts rule lets this unit follow up from combat and counters charging next turn, so it's going to go straight through units and into the next one. They are absolutely devastating, but if you don't want to get too close to your opponent like the Jade Lancers do, maybe you want to fancy taking some of these artillery pieces as well.
Artillery.
Check these out, man. What we got?
So all along the Great Bastion, you've got rocket launchers and cannons of all sizes.
All right, Grandpa needs to turn around here and tell his son, you can't smoke next to fireworks. You're gonna have a big bada boom, and this dude right here, he needs to go to a dentist. He's got some bad teeth.
The rocket launchers, the Fire Rain rocket battery might be a little bit inaccurate, but they're incredibly deadly, launching explosives great distances. So this Fire Rain rocket battery is a port.
I will give them props for making smoke effects. It's very, very nice that they did in the video.
Version of the War Machine. It's crewed by disciples of the House of Smoke and Powder, who specialise in the manufacturing of gunpowder. You'll notice gunpowder features very heavily with Grand Cathay. So many
Grand
cannons
Cathay
also exist, but the foremost is the Cathayan Great Cannon. Many of these are forged in Nangao, and they've got that wonderful dragon head shaped.
See, these guys, they need a dentist. It's kind of got an orc thing going on here with the weird belly button plate. And then again, why are they making Grandpa do all the work, my guys? Come on. He's just an old man.
on the front. And one of my favourite things about this kit is that ogre loader.
It's just a great characterful piece, isn't it?
Yes.
Ogre Loader, which is actually an upgrade for the kit for the artillery piece in terms of the rules. He helps protect your artillery piece with gunpowder bombs. He can help the cannon move faster by lugging it along, and also it can allow it to shoot twice, once per game in one phase, which is pretty impressive if you load it super fast. The grand cannon you see here does such devastating damage. It has thunderous impact on its shots, slowing down enemy units nearby where the shot landed. And the firing rocket battery can choose a multiple different types of ammunition, depending whether it's going for big targets or for big units. It can do what it wants. My favourite detail here, I've got to point out in this picture, check out the guy at the back with the sort of the bamboo rocket who's smoking a pipe right next to the rocket.
That's brave.
What a hero! What a hero! Love this stuff. But that's the models that we've seen in the
I made the joke first.
battalion. But we've also got some other stuff as well. This is the Sky Lantern. Tell me about these.
Yes,
I do like this
beautiful
model. This is
centerpiece
kind of neat
miniature. It's
looking.
an intricately decorated construction of paper and silk and held aloft by a caged vermilion warbird, which basically has burning wings and forces all the hot air up into it to give it lift. The crew then sit in an armoured gondola and they're able to direct it using those sails on the side. It's a wonder of Cathayan ingenuity. If you had the Derby up on one side and Grand Cathay on the other, you'd be hard-pressed to see who's the best engineers. Now you can see in that gondola you've got a Lord Magistrate or Strategist, and these are the commanders of cities and the institutions of Grand Cathay. And they tend to lead from the back, and they can guide from the Sky Lantern using fans and banners.
This is great. The magistrate you see there is a hero choice for the force, and you can choose.
What a hero. I'm gonna go up high where no one can touch me. And if there's a stray spark in the ammo cache, I'm gonna blow up like a firework.
To mount him in a Sky Lantern if you want to. He can be on foot if you want to as well, or you can take the Sky Lantern without one of those inside if you want to as well. It's a huge, rare, heavy chariot basically on a new base size, which is quite cool. And you can equip the gunners on board with an array of gunpowder weapons and bombs, including the actual lantern itself has those huge Sky Lantern bombs underneath it, which are absolutely devastating. One of my favourite rules about this thing is the Eye of the Dragon rule, which lets Cathayan artillery use this model's line of sight, so the crew on board are directing the artillery fire for the rest of the force.
So that even though this is a cool model, I wonder how flimsy this thing's going to be. Is it going to stand upright on its own, or if it's going to fall over all the time? I'm very, very curious because GW for a while has had issues with flying models, with them, with the horrible flying bases from 8th edition and so on and so forth.
Which is fantastic. So
Just one thing I want to note on this as well is the transfers.
Yes.
You'll have seen on all the banners these wonderful intricate symbols, and as well there on the Sky Lantern, those are all transfers.
absolutely good. You don't have to be a level 4 brush sorcerer to complete that. So there we go. Fantastic.
I do like how they did make these transfers, which is really cool. Even if you go to an after bit shop and you wanted to use these on your own little custom armies or either other like Gunpla projects, that's really cool. I do like that.
News for the Cathayan players. That's not the only centerpiece model we've got. Of course, up next we've got the Cathayan Sentinels.
Big boy.
This is just look at the size of this thing, Alex. Tell me more.
And these guys are pretty big, but we did go over the 30-minute mark. So to the people over onto YouTube, I don't know. We got to see how much longer this goes on for. Yeah, it goes on for a while. So to the people over onto YouTube, I will see you later. To the people of Twitch, I don't go anywhere. I usually break up my VODs into 30-minute increments. Usually I break these up a lot more based off of the different armies and stuff that are going on. But because this so far has been all old world content so far with the Beastmen and with these guys, this is going to be part 1. And then part 2 will be coming up. So we'll say goodbye to the people of YouTube, but not to the people of Twitch. Bye, people of YouTube. Bye. So long. Auf Wiedersehen. See you later. Bye-bye.